Coal is one of the most lethal sources of pollution on the planet, wreaking havoc on our health, destroying our communities, and poisoning our water supply.
It begins in the mountains of Appalachia and other places around the country where they extract this coal.
It is a horrendous assault on our environment, our health, our children.
Everything about coal processing is dirty.
At the end of this long, filthy process, they're left with piles of burnt ash, coal ash.
Coal ash is loaded with dangerous metals and radioactive elements such as arsenic, lead, mercury, and uranium. Exposure to it can cause reproductive disorders, birth defects, and cancer. But despite this, the EPA has yet to regulate it as a hazardous waste.
It's an extremely dangerous scenario that's been set up and allowed this industry to get away with this for decades.
There are hundreds, if not thousands, of toxic lakes around the U.S. where coal ash is currently being stored. Ticking time bombs that are unregulated, unlined, and unsafe.
5.4 million tons of ashes created by 50 years of burning coal to generate electricity here burst through a dike.
The spill was 100 times larger than the Exxon Valdez.
From that spot, it's only 5 miles downstream to the Tennessee River, the source of drinking water for millions.
You know, the disaster in Kingston, Tennessee was not an isolated event. Although it was the largest disaster we've ever had associated with coal ash, there have been many more smaller incidents around the country.
The coal ash ponds are one issue, but just think an equal number are buried under the ground where they contaminate aquifers, they contaminate drinking water supplies, and you'll never know that.
Without laws in place, the coal industry has disposed of its hazardous waste for years without any oversight, endangering communities and the environment. In the case of the Tennessee spill, the Tennessee Valley Authority is now removing the toxic ash from Kingston and shipping it down to Perry County, Alabama, where it's devastating the community.
This is it. This is the stuff that's in that landfill. And they're tracking it out of the landfill onto the road to become an airborne.
It's not an accident that the communities that have been victimized most at every level of the coal industry are also impoverished communities that don't have the political connections, the power, the currency to defend themselves against these kind of assaults.
Be bringing all this coal ash into us, dumping it on us, and I brought a bottle of water, but I took out the creek. I want to do the shake.
I drink water from my refrigerator house and stuff. And when I drink that water, it doesn't taste right to me. It's funny.
We know that there's already contamination of the surface water, which ultimately will go into the Alabama River through Chilhatchee Creek and then down into Mobile Bay.
Do we not matter? Do we not count? I mean, are we not human too?
One of the few studies that I've been able to find that was done by the Army Corps, study was to take some of the coal ash from Kingston, put it in water, and bubble it. And you can see that the arsenic 5 keeps going up. As long as this stuff is agitated and in water, the arsenic just kind of keeps leaching off of there.
You are seeing an industry that has largely escaped regulation, where every other industry in this country has been clamped down on fairly well.
This is an industry that's, by its own records, has violated the Clean Water Act 82,000 times over the past decade. 82,000 times.
Without federal regulation, the coal industry will continue to do whatever it takes to dispose of its hazardous waste in the easiest way possible, at the tragic cost of our communities and our environment.
In order for it to be regulated as a toxic waste, the government has to take steps.
Imagine if a foreign government or a terrorist organization did that to our country, poisoned every river in America, poisoned 1 out of every 6 American women, killed 20 to 60,000 Americans every year, poisoned the air that we breathe, caused 1 million asthma attacks, 1 million lost work days. This would be regarded as an act of war.
We need the EPA to act and do so pretty quickly about designating this as a hazardous waste.
It's time for the EPA to regulate coal ash and protect Americans from the dirty coal industry.
The coal industry, it says it's cheap, it says it's clean. Both of those things, both of those claims are a dirty lie.
Tell the EPA and the White House that coal ash must be regulated as a hazardous waste. Visit thedirtylie.com to take action.